Team 7 number 2, written by Justin Jordan, art by Julius Gopez and Ron Frenz. This is yet another installation of the Black Diamond probability. And we open with a whole bunch of Eclipso-possessed people coming out and attacking Team 7. And they open fire and just start mowing them all down until finally Bronson comes in his full Iron Man suit and just like, well, if you guys are running out of bullets, I'll take care of this. And he just starts plowing through all of them. Gives them enough time to have Dinah try to open up the nearby door. She has to hack into it to do so. Finally, she manages to get in. Bronson, he's still dealing with the entire group. They're like, Bronson, we're closing the door. Come on, get in. And he uses some rocket boosters that I guess he doesn't know how they work to get into the door in time. And they're just like, okay, all right. Well, is everyone all right? Cool. Someone go take care of Bronson down there. Everyone else, let's figure out what's going on. So Kurt comes back to Bronson. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just didn't know the instruction manual had rockets like that. So they go through, they're like, all right, we got to figure out what's been going on. There were 218 people on this fortress, and we have to assume all of them are infected. The only place that I think might be even kind of safe is the medical center. So maybe we need to check that place out. But first things first, we need to get to a comms center. So that's 4 floors down, and Bronson once again uses his suit to literally carve a hole through the floor to get down there. And he's like, all right, well, I'm almost out of juice on this thing, so let's not do that anymore. So they start watching some video surveillance, and one thing in particular is from the medical center, and it's a guy who I guess used to work at Arkham Asylum, and he's like, hey, we have this little serum thing that we're testing out, and it is a Jekyll Hyde serum, and we're only using the Jekyll part. Because sure they are. And they use it on this dude, and he was actually the terrorist from the Zeroth issue who was going to crash like a blimp into a stadium or something. It's him, and his name is Akara. And they use it on him, and immediately all of his mental disorders just disappear. And he's like, oh, I'm so willing to help you, doctor. But then immediately afterwards, he transforms into an Eclipso zombie and starts attacking everybody. And they're like, okay, well, so the Jekyll serum or whatever, which they specifically mentioned to tune into All-Star Western to find out more about, clearly did this. So how did this get spread to everybody else? Well, they show that it was weaponized, and it was turned into something that was used on everybody in the whole place all at once, like a airborne pathogen. And so Grifter's like, oh, so we're all going to turn into these things. And it's like, no. It was so diluted or something, it has already worn out, like, just to make us not worry about it. But then they say, like, all right, here's the other big issue. Apparently, the flight path of this floating fortress is now being directed towards the country of Genosha. And Akara is the son of a Genosian national who rebelled against the current leader. So they have reason to worry that this thing is going to crash down on that place, or that they're going to be able to use it as a weapon. It's neither here nor there. So then we cut into the medical center, and we see that the doctor is actually still uninfected. And Akara is standing there with like some jagged fingernails, and he's like, oh, you have to finish all of this work. You have to make it ready, and then I'll kill you. And he's like, don't you mean or? And he's like, no, I'm definitely going to kill you. Question is, how quickly am I going to do it? Mwahaha. So they like, all right, comm center is busted. We need to figure out how to stop this from getting to Gamora. We got to head down to the medical center to see if there's any sort of thing down there. So they start moving their way down. All the zombie people, like the possessed ones, are literally ripping through the walls in order to get down to them. They begin just fighting them all off as they make their way down there as quickly as possible. And then when they arrive, they see inside is just Akara and the doctor. And it's like, wow, hello, especially you, Amanda Waller. How's it going? It's such a pleasure to see you. And so they're opening up on all the zombies until they can get the door closed. And then they turn on Akara and just open fire. And he is immune to their gunfire. Just bounces right off him. And he's like, well, let me show you what I got. And he kicks Grifter like the full way across the room. Deathstroke's sword breaks against him, and nothing is seemingly able to stop him until finally Bronson in his big old Iron Man suit comes up, knocks him out with one punch, and Waller goes, talks to the doctor, says like, hey, is there anything that can hurt this guy, like, and take him down for good? And the doctor's like, well, I think he might be vulnerable to a specific frequency of light. And he pulls out this little like light bulb, and he's like, I just have to find the frequency. And so Bronson gets Akara in a headlock. Waller lights up the light bulb, and it drains all of his power for at least a little while. And so he tells Bronson, get out of your Iron Man suit. I know that there is a fuel cell inside there that can be ready to explode if we shoot it. So he gets out while still headlocking Akara. They explode the fuel cell and seemingly kill Akara. And everyone's like, all right, well, we just have to go around and flash this light bulb at everybody, and that should burn it out of them. And then the doctor chimes in being like, oh, actually, you guys thought this thing was going to Gamora, but it's going to the nearby Sentinel Island, where inside is it's the Black Diamond. It's the Black Diamond. It has Eclipso in it, and he's all just hyping it up, saying how it's God's vengeance and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't feel like I understood half of this issue, but at the same time, I feel like it also over-explained it. Like, it just started going down this stuff of like, oh, but Gamora and these nationals, and we're flying to this country, and they can use it as a weapon. But then, like, at the same time, it's just like, okay, but none of that's actually happening. It's all this other thing. And I don't know. It just felt like a mess. It just felt like overstuffed. Like it was trying to do too much all in one issue. And maybe it is. I don't know. I know the series does not go very long, but it's yeah, no. I guess I'm disappointed. I don't expect much from the whole Black Diamond stuff. Whatever's going to come of it comes of it, but it's not doing anything really. Like it's not even, I don't know. It's so hard to review or even like be introspective on this issue because I doubt there's anything beyond the surface layer. It's just, hey, here's a team who can shoot stuff and they're fighting for the world. And even then, it's kind of foggy as to who it actually is. So overall, I'm going to give this one like a 5. And the only reason it's sitting there in the middle is like, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just kind of bleh. It's just there. It's taking up space on a shelf. We'll see if it can change now that we've actually got the Eclipso thing named.